Salutations, everyone. Baseball season is back. Hope all of your teams lose and all of mine win. For this week, this is what mattered. For the first bit of news, I'm going to go over my review of Captain America Winter Soldier. No spoilers, so no need to worry about that. Although you guys should have seen it already. Did you see it? You should see it because it's awesome. I think might possibly be the best Marvel movie made from the Marvel studio. You know, when you don't count Fox or Sony, and even if you do, it's still one of the best. I think it's better than it was better than the first one. It was better than the Avengers, better than the Thors. Might even be better than the first Iron Man. Better than at least 2 of the Spider-Mans, if not 3 of the 4. Better than even like X-Men First Class. It's one of the best superhero movies ever. Definitely one of Marvel's best. It's really, really good. You don't have to be a comic book fan to like it because it has just a great thriller action story. As far as Marvel movies goes, this one has the best action, it has the best writing, it has the best acting, it has the best villain, and the best cast. I think acting-wise, this was by far the best film. It was a crime thriller in a sense, but also super actiony, way more actiony than your Avengers or your Thors or your Iron Mans. And I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very, very cool. There was like 3 characters, I think, that I didn't know were going to be in this film were in this film. So that was a nice surprise. Also, they actually hinted at another character. This is not a spoiler, but someone starts listing off a bunch of names. They say blah, 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 Bruce Banner. And the second to last name that they say is Stephen Strange. That would be Doctor Strange. So they've kind of confirmed that he is part of this Marvel universe. So I would hope to see a Doctor Strange film, ensuing this. And I think it's a very safe assumption to say. We've been hearing rumors of a Doctor Strange movie being trying to get off the ground, even as early as like the Ant-Man rumors, so like 2004. So like 8 years we've been, speculating about a Doctor Strange film, and this is probably like the closest concrete evidence we can get for it. I know there's like a lot of people within Marvel who want to make this a reality, and I think it was just a really cool shout out. When I heard it, I was like, They said it. They said Doctor Strange. They said his name. He's going to have his own movie. I was geeking out about it a little bit. Overall, fantastic film. I just thought you guys need to see it. It's one of Marvel's best. And then better the Avengers. Obviously I'm going to be in the minority in this, but most people are going to say, oh, the Avengers because blah, 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 blah. The Avengers was a very huge undertaking and very impressive because they pulled it off. But Captain America just beats it on all fronts. It wasn't like as impressive because it was just another Captain America movie. You only have 3-4 heroes to deal with here, including the Falcon, Captain America's sidekick, the first African American superhero in history, making his big screen debut. And I thought it was just really, really good. Acting great, awesome plot. As far as the after scene credits goes, nothing spectacular that you really have to worry about. The first one that they show us is, we already knew that because of, they just introduce 2 characters that are going to be in Age of Ultron that we already know are going to be there. So that's not something that you really need to worry about. Obviously, you should probably stay for the end credit scenes or look them up online if you don't want to wait that long. The second one, because of course there's going to be 2 at the end of every movie now, one after the cinematic credits and one at the end of the credits. They started this with Thor Dark World, and I think it's going to be a continuing trend. But the last scene is kind of something that you would figure already. It's just kind of like, we kind of figured that was going to happen, so that's just fine. The 3 things, there's really like 3 things that the end credits scene tells us. One we already knew about, the second one we could already figure, and the third one we could already figure as well, especially since we saw the last end credit scene of Thor Dark World. We kind of saw this one coming. So that's really the short, quick review of Captain America Winter Soldier. I thought it was fantastic. Best movie of the year so far, easily. It doesn't have much competition yet. They're going to keep on coming as the weeks go by. But a great way to start off the year as far as like huge, successful blockbusters go. And I'm more psyched for Captain America 3 now than I am for Avengers Age of Ultron, because that was fantastic. It was announced this week that J.K. Rowling's book Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them will not only be adapted into a movie, which we knew about a year ago, but they're splitting it into 3 movies. Is this a continuing trend, splitting one book into 3 movies instead of just the final book of a series into 2? Because this is really weird. The Hobbit is one thing, and they add a lot of stuff, some from the Silmarillion, but I don't know how you can make a 54-page book into 3 movies. That's right. What Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is an actual textbook that J.K. Rowling made that exists in the Harry Potter universe, and it's about the author. The movie is going to be. It takes place 70 years before the whole Harry Potter thing goes down. So it's not really a prequel, it's not a sequel, it's just an alternate story that takes place in the same world. So very, very interesting, but I kind of shaking my head at this one because it's like, okay, they're really milking this by making, this offshoot book that she wrote into its own movie. But now that they're splitting it to 3, where's the quality going to be? Obviously, I think they're going to have to go off script on this one. They're just going to have to add more and more stuff that's in 54 pages in the book. So, because I don't think you can really make an 18 pages into one movie 3 times. I don't see that happening. So, it'll be interesting to see where this goes, but a very odd and unique development nonetheless. Ridley Scott and David Zucker are attached to produce a Halo film, but not a mass-produced film like, we would have been expecting from a Neil Blomkamp or, a Spielberg movie or something like that, or Peter Jackson. This is going to be more in the vein of like Halo Legends or Forward Unto Dawn, like a direct-to-Blu-ray release. But no word yet on what it is about. It's not going to be about Master Chief, but supposedly another super soldier of some sort. Who knows? Spartan 1, Spartan 2, Spartan 3. We don't really know yet, but we have Ridley Scott attached to the project. We have, a couple other producers and a writer. So, this will be interesting. We've gotten some of the stuff before, but never from a name as big as Ridley Scott. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully, if it does well enough, some studios will finally get off their ass and make us a goddamn Halo movie. Amy Hennig recently departed from Naughty Dog, has found a new home in Visceral Games, and is going to be working on a Star Wars game. It's good to see that she finally found a place to unleash all of her genius after making 3 fantastic Uncharted games. I don't know if she worked on Golden Abyss for the Vita, but that was a good game as well. So it's nice to see that she's attached to a project that she's really, really passionate about. She's a big Star Wars fan, and Star Wars games. I mean, we've been waiting for a long time. Lucasfilm was destroyed just over a year ago, like a year and 2 days, a year and 3 days, or something like that. So, it's been a while since we've seen a Star Wars game, and with a name like Amy Hennig attached to the project, I think we can all be super excited for what is about to come. The Xbox One, according to Major Nelson, will very soon be supporting external hard drives. No word yet on what kind of space that's going to be, or if it's going to be, Xbox, Microsoft specific hard drives, but it's going to get some external storage support, which is very nice, especially because you can't change the hard drive in the Xbox One. You can in the PS4, or so I'm told, but you can't have external storage on the PS4. So now Xbox has, finally gotten a leg up in that area, and it's really good to see, especially since the games are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and our 500 gigabyte hard drives, which is really like 397 or something like that, it just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller, a lot faster than the last generation did. So it's good to see that we're, finally going to be able to get a way to get more storage, because we're going to need it. Amazon announced and released Amazon Fire, their new set-top box that's going to be retailing at $100. We all kind of saw this coming, and for Amazon, I think is a very smart, very predictable, easy move for them to make to get into the set-top boxes, rivaling Roku and Chromecast and Apple TV and that kind of stuff. So, $100 isn't your best bet. It also plays games, and you have the controller that was announced like a couple months ago. That's going to be $40 standalone by itself. All the stuff that you can really get from an app store, for the most part. As well, they're also going to get support from, other bigger developers like EA and Telltale and stuff like that. Probably getting some unique titles just to the Amazon Fire. So I think this is a good step for them as far as a consumer's point of view. If you don't have any like Roku or Chromecast or any like the cheaper options that have been here for a while, this is a good place to start, especially if you also don't have a gaming system and you have younger kids. So the price point, doesn't make it competitive with some of the others, But if you don't have one, or if you've had one that's like, a decade old, this is a pretty good upgrade and a smart move for Amazon, which is really just controlling the household. It's like, Walmart except super duper personal and just getting all up in your space. So good move. Not something that, I or many people that I know are probably going to use, just because we have other stuff that does the same things that are cheaper and or better. So, no surprise, but, good luck on them. And the last bit of news, David Letterman announced his retirement, which may not, pique the interest of many of the young people, but the top frontrunner for his replacement might be piquing your interest. Stephen Colbert is apparently the super favorite to replace Letterman when he leaves. Colbert's contract with Comedy Central is out at the end of this year, so a little over 8 months, and that will coincide very well when Letterman leaves, although he left his departure point very vague. So this is very, very interesting development. Craig Ferguson has also, been shot out there. Neil Patrick Harris is a wild card to take over. Jon Stewart was the favorite, a while ago, but that has kind of faded. His stock has dropped a little bit. Also, he's the flagship show of Comedy Central, so the gap between the network shows and the cable shows have kind of gotten smaller and smaller as the years go on. So Colbert has expressed a lot of interest, however, in taking over for David Letterman. He would leave his Comedy Central persona behind in his, his uber conservative, narcissistic Colbert character that he created on that show, which is one of my favorite shows and one of the best shows easily on TV, also one of the funniest. It would be very, very sad to see that show and that character go, and Colbert would just have his normal, everyday persona on the Letterman show. So that'll be very interesting. Also, we know that Colbert is very selective of his guests on his show. So if he moved to a more mainstream show like The Tonight Show or the Late Show, that, he'd be forced to do a lot of things that he hasn't been comfortable doing in the past. Wouldn't have as much control, but would get a lot more money and limelight and respect. So if he wants to do it, I'm all for it. But personally, I love the Colbert Report. And I love the Colbert character, and I want that to stay. I know that seems selfish, and I know a lot of people will share my feelings, but, that's just how I feel. I mean, obviously, The Late Show would be a great big step in his career, but I don't think he needs it. I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the description, if you know these shows or if you don't. What do you think about David Letterman, Colbert, Stewart, Ferguson, hell, even Neil Patrick Harris, good old NPH. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys this week. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave a comment on your favorite story below, and all the stories will be in the description below for you to check out those on your own. I post one of these every single week, so if you're a newcomer here, you can go ahead and subscribe and expect one of these every single Saturday, and I hope to see you guys then.